Alright, these are not perfect, but they're about as close enough for rock and roll. So I'll measure metal to cut for the clamp pads. This will be for the set over ways going on top of this, and I do have a plan on how to deal with this sodding rust. Finally. Alright, here are our metal bits we need to drill and put onto the casting. I'm going to try and experiment on getting rid of the rust off these silly things. So I'll give them a clean first. An ice cream container, chocolate cookies and fudge overload if you're interested. Alright, paper towels and acetone. Right, to give my experiment the best chance possible, I'm going to clean these with chemical first. Right. And this is what I'm going to try out, evapor rust. The idea for this stuff is that you submerge rusty things in it, and it converts the rust back into actual steel. It appeals to my inner Scrooge because according to the directions, after you use it, you can tip it back in the container to reuse. It says to leave it for 30 minutes for light rust. However, it also says that that's for 18 degrees and over. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that it's less than 18 degrees. I'll move those, they're not touching each other. Put a lid on so that the evapor rust doesn't evaporate. And I'll come back to that in an hour or so. Alright, it's been a while, so let's see how this is getting on. Oh wow, I'm impressed. I am very impressed. I don't know how well you can see it, but that is how it went into it, and this is how it came out. Rusty and crappy and clean as a whistle. Not so impressive on this piece, but it was a lot worse on this one to begin with. I'll just put that on the bottom where no one will see. I love the fact that this is reusable like that too. I was thinking of doing a rainy day project of taking that vise apart and maybe dunking it in the vapor rust. Yeah, try and restore it like all the fancy, nice YouTube channels do, so I could have a nice looking vise. The odds of that project happening just went way up. I'm putting oil on these to help preserve the nice shininess of them. From memory, these are about 16 millimeters and 6.35 millimeters into it. I think it's side project time. See if we can sharpen that drill a bit. Avoid unintentional starting. Always a good start. Come here. I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. Looks like that's meant to go onto there. Okay, there's a little bit of casting left in there. Now we're cooking with oil. Yeah, this comes out. Make that expand. That's touching. Pull this out. Eyes and ears, I think. Well, that's done something. Okay, once you get past the learning curve, that drill sharpener does work, but the learning curve is a doozy. That Sutton countersink bit is amazing. Well, there's supposed to be one going in here, 1 3/4. Sorry about that. Right, so I've screwed these into here and I've marked out my next drill hole. Now there's one that goes in the middle here, 1 3/4 in ferrules in. I don't know what that is, so 1.75 times 25.4 equals 44.45. Okay. Right, I'll be back in a flash. Right. I'm hand drilling these ones because I don't feel like taking the table off the drill press. Lovely day for an indoors job. Tapping time. Now to work out where to put this locking bolt. The book calls for a 9.5mm bolt, and you know they're just sold out of those. Right, this will also be 16mm in, so about somewhere around here. And I need to put this in such a way that the bolt will not hit the blades. Alright, I'm going to be step drilling this. speed down. Alright, this is what we now have. Take these off again. With the Zamac I've started to just go straight to the finishing tap, but for this steel piece I'm starting with the 1 then 2 then the finishing tap. Now for the finishing tap. Not often I get to use these big taps. Alright, I just have to drill this hole out to 10mm back in a flash. Alright, I just have to drill the holes for the gib screws now. Get out my second best calipers. I forgot how the tapping deforms it. Now let's get back to tapping. Now to cut the gib strip that will go in there. Right, let's put the bolt in. Right. Where do I put that gib strip? Alright, now to try the lock. Alright, that's not going anywhere. So, loosen it off. And it moves again. Yay for the locking bolt. Next order of business will be to put these set overways on top of it. Alright, going to anchor these with the standard screws. I'll drill a 5mm through hole here, which I'll then use to drill guide for the 5mm hole in here. Tap that and expand this to 6mm and a countersink. Then I can measure where to drill this. These are parallels. Each of these are a matched pair of bars that are exactly the same width. The idea being that if you have a workpiece like this sitting in the vise on top of a pair of these parallels, it will be the workpiece will be parallel to the bottom of the vise, hence the name parallels. They come in several sizes so that whatever you use will be the right height. This will be the right size for this one, I think, and they're going to be a lot more parallel than me using wooden blocks like I have been up till now. 1/8 times 5, 8 times 6, whatever that means. They have a protective coating of grease which I will leave on them at this present moment in time. See? Now the workpiece is being held parallel, hence the name. Right, I'm just going to gently tap this so it's sitting flush. Alright, bring the table up a bit, cutting oil, and off we go. Okay, that parallel should not have been going wobble wobble. The column is round, so whenever you raise or lower the table, it can swing from side to side, which throws out any alignment that you have. So when I tighten it back up, I have to be careful that it's still aligned if I want to keep using this where it's positioned. Little things like that is why this is a drill press and not a mill. Yeah, along with the spindle being wrong for it. Right, I don't want to drill all the way through with this, I just want to dimple it so I know where to drill on the press. I don't want to drill all the way through, so I better set the depth stop. Insert standard moving the camera gripe. I think I had better put a punch on there. B for back. You may recall many moons ago when we aligned the cross slideways. We're basically going to do the same thing all over again with the tailstock ways. Get the engineer's square. Crank these. Going to use this as a parallel and then crank down on this. Now it's aligned. It isn't quite as critical as the alignment of the cross slideways, but it is still important. Right, just to perfectly go down onto that. Yep. Oh, in case you're wondering, yes, I did swap out this locking. Thank you. I did swap out this locking bolt for a shorter one, because the other one was sticking out the end quite a bit, which made clamping this down to anything hell. This one doesn't completely go through the plate, but it goes through it enough that it will lock onto it. Now, where did that sodding gib strip get to? I may have cranked down too hard, I think. Then again, I did not want it to move. Alright, this one did not go all the way through, so I'll be blind tapping, which, as you may recall, means I have to be careful. Especially with this tap, I have to be careful doing blind holes because, focus, you see how the tip of the tap is pointed? The tip of that will hit the bottom of the hole before the actual tap on the side gets to the bottom of the wall of the hole. And I do not want my tap to break. Right, I'll just drill these and I'll be right back. Okay, a bit of an update on the countersinking front. When you run it at precisely the right speed, which is dead slow, instead of the best you can do with a handheld electric drill, it cuts very, very well into steel. The surface finish, however, is a bit poop compared to the high-speed steel Sutton countersink, which leaves a very nice finish. The next piece of the puzzle is this bolt here. I forget the name of what they call it, engine stud, which will screw into there, which will go through a slot that I still have to cut in the bottom of this. So it'll go through the slot there, and this part will screw into the plate there, and this part will go through here and have a bolt clamping at the top down. However, I'm not going to put that in until I know where I want to put it, because it depends a bit on the top of the tailstock. But that's the bottom of it, otherwise finished. All the way back up after I took it off to get that angle clamp. So that's this part done. Next video, working on that. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.